On January 20th, 2025, the Chicago Bears hired Ben Johnson as the 18th full-time head coach in franchise history. In his introductory press conference, Johnson set the standard, including a moment where he turned and looked at a few veteran players and said, "Get comfortable being uncomfortable." Despite claims that he wouldn't be a leader of men type head coach, Johnson quickly disproved these concerns from the very start of OTAs.
I don't remember ever seeing a coach stop practice like Ben did today, and he screamed and stared down Cole Kmet.
I loved it.
And these fiery type moments were anything but one off by the Bears head coach, continuing deep into training camp and even into the regular season. Longtime veterans like Bears safety Kevin Byard, for example, were going out of their way to say that this was the hardest training camp they've ever experienced in their career.
I had the toughest training camp I've ever had in my entire career of playing football, bro. Like, we were doing more live tackling this year than I've ever done out of all my other previous non-training camps.
This type of hard-nosed coaching was deeply needed for the Chicago Bears, as they have been lacking it since the likes of Lovie Smith and even as far back as Mike Ditka. After an 0-2 start to the regular season, there were some questions arising. Was all the talk during the offseason for naught? Is this going to take way longer than anyone thought? And my personal favorite, are the Bears just genuinely cursed? Well, after that 0-2 start, the Chicago Bears won 11 of their next 15 games to go 11-6 on the season and win the NFC North for the first time since 2018. The offense, especially led by Ben Johnson, made major leaps in the 2025 season. According to ESPN stats, the Chicago Bears went from last to 6th in net total yards, second to last in net passing yards to 10th, 25th in net rushing yards to 3rd, and finally from 18.2 points per game to 25.9. This marked a major accomplishment for the Chicago Bears, being one of the worst offenses in the league to one of the best in one season. Now, this was a massive achievement for Ben Johnson, but possibly his biggest accomplishment of the season was developing quarterback Caleb Williams. In 2025, Caleb broke the franchise passing record set by Eric Kramer back in the 90s with 3,942 yards, just shy of that 4,000 marker. On top of this, he had 27 passing touchdowns, and his sack number dropped from 68 to 24 in 2025. Now, obviously, some of this is due to the likes of Drew Dahlman and Jonah Jackson being added in the offseason, as well as Joe Tooney. I can't believe I just missed him there. And that has obviously helped Caleb Williams so much, but he has taken so many strides just watching him from game 1 to the last game of the season. Now, the only holdup really would be the completion percentage, which Ben Johnson set the goal of being 70% in the offseason, but it was actually only 58.1% for Caleb Williams, down from 62.5% in his rookie season. Now, this was due to multiple factors, one of which being that he had the most throwaways in the NFL with 40 this year, trying to cut those sacks down, but this was obviously his first season in that Ben Johnson offense. Other factors like having pretty poor catch luck, being 3rd in the league with drops at 29, and with his average depth of target jumping from 27th in the league in 2024 to 16th in the league in 2025. This shows that Ben Johnson's scheme had Caleb stretching the ball more vertically this season, leading to more drops and incompletions. Now, one area that is completely on Caleb to clean up is his on-target throw percentage. This number ended up being 69.8%, meaning that it was one of the lowest among starting QBs in the NFL. Now, a lot of this was Caleb just having to adjust to Ben Johnson's scheme and having to tie his feet to his throws, which he's gotten so much better at through the course of the season and now heading into the playoffs, but I'd still expect it to be a solid focal point in the offseason. Now, despite grand improvements to the offense this season, the one issue that might get you eliminated in the playoffs is the defense. Throughout the past few decades, where most of the time the offense was stalling, the defense would often make up for the offense's mistakes. This season, it's been a little bit backwards. Although Ben Johnson hired Dennis Allen this past offseason, who is obviously a very respected defensive coordinator, it has not been the best season for the Bears defense. Besides being ran by leading the NFL in turnovers, the Chicago Bears defense ranks in the bottom half of the league for most other defensive metrics. Despite being the defensive coordinator, I don't think there's much Dennis Allen can do more than he's already doing with this defense. So unfortunately, I don't think this is an issue you can really fix until this upcoming off season. For a little less formal segment of this video, I was kind of snooping around, I think, Sumer Sports last night, and I'm enough of a stats guy to know all the basic stuff and be able to read that and present it, but I was reading something that I believe the EPA for interceptions for the Bears is like 32nd, but the EPA for sacks for the Bears is like 2nd, meaning that the more sacks the Bears have, the more impactful that is, and the turnovers have been really low leverage. Now, I think this means that obviously the turnovers are very important. I'd love to keep that around, despite possibly losing Al Harris this offseason, which would be great for him, and I think he deserves it, but obviously I think the Bears fandom probably would rather keep him just because how successful they have been on turnovers. So I think the focus this offseason will definitely be bolstering the defensive line with a focus on speed. As far as this postseason goes, I've heard the term house money a lot, and the Bears are playing with house money, which I kind of agree with just because the defense, I don't think can hold up to that Super Bowl caliber level, and I don't think that offense can just outplay them every single game. But I think this team can actually get further than a lot of people think. With the amount of momentum, despite losing that Detroit Lions game, and accountability that Ben Johnson has brought to this team, I really think as long as they beat the Packers, because that feels like that's the bug you can never fully stomp, that this team can get as far as the NFC Championship game. I wouldn't be surprised. Now, I also wouldn't be surprised if they got eliminated by the Packers or in the divisional even, but it really will be something fun to watch in Ben Johnson's first season. Now, I know this video is titled Among the Lines of Ben Johnson, Chicago's Savior, and I haven't really spoken about why he's saved the city and the fan base much, besides just how he's made the team much better. Well, in my years as a Chicago Bears fan, even that 2018 season where they were really good, I have never seen this much buy-in by diehard fans, casual fans, people who just live in the area and are like, I guess the Bears are my team. It's really been something special. I mean, the amount of t-shirts I've seen sold across the city and the Chicagoland area about good, better, best, or some other thing that Ben Johnson's mentioned, and just the amount of accountability with this team and what Ben Johnson has brought has been awesome. Go back to the Wiener Circle thing. When he took off his shirt, some players were like, at the very beginning, people were like, I think Tyson Bagent mentioned how he had no idea what was going on. He thought it was weird at first. But then he was completely bought in, and it just united the team so much, and the whole city was united behind that. The whole city got free freaking hot dogs from the Wiener Circle because Ben Johnson took off his shirt. What other coach has taken off his shirt besides a Super Bowl win? It's unbelievable. Or at least Bears coach, because the Bears don't win the Super Bowl very much. So I don't know what other coaches are doing that. I don't want to be fact checked by someone and be like, oh, this guy took off his shirt. But how many coaches have taken off their shirts to give the city free hot dogs? I mean, Ben Johnson has he's been kind of the bright light of Chicago sports this season. I mean, the Cubs were doing better. The Sox they weren't the worst team in the league anymore. I know they have the number 1 pick now. I mean, the Bulls started off well. The Hawks are doing better. And now the Bears, the cornerstone franchise of Chicago sports, are a playoff team and second in the NFC. I mean, Ben Johnson, I've repeated myself like 4 times now, but has brought so much light and so much just happiness and optimism to this team that has not been around for God knows how long. So yeah, sorry about that little rant at the end there, but as a Chicago Bears fan, I tried being more objective at the start of this video, more like a journalist, but I can't hold my excitement. Absolutely beat the Packers, and it would suck if we lose to the Packers. But honestly, if we beat the Packers and lose in the divisional to whatever better team, actually, if we play the Eagles, that would be awesome, because we might even get further, But I would be so happy, so content with the season, and yeah, that's the end of this video. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you guys next time. Go Bears.